lot of this stuff isn't just fun. It's genuinely got a purpose.
Because I'm obsessed with the idea that I can make money online with as minimal effort as possible.
So each habit not only gets results, but also teaches you something far more important: to trust yourself.
And in your head, notice that going on. That is the path to success. Salam alaikum.
Where is that? Action.
Yeah.
What's up, people?
Crack and Jungle, Jasmine Brown.
Here we go.
House and Ecstasy.
Here we go. Podcast settings, first podcast.
This was an interesting experience, wasn't it?
Yeah. Techie mics.
Pirate's always a little like that though. You can't come expecting the best because you got to fucking try yourself.
Exactly that. Oh, it's weird speaking like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a little weird.
Feels professional though.
How are your volumes doing?
Yeah, perfect.
Mine's sweet, mate.
Cool.
I might be a little bit quiet, but.
Do you see what I mean about being able to like hear each other?
Yeah.
And like it's actually quite easy to do.
Can you turn me up a little bit, please?
Yeah, turn me up a little bit as well.
Turn your voice up.
Yeah.
You're free, so.
Yo.
Tight, wait.
Not that much.
Nah, that's good.
Wait, is it higher on your mic?
Yeah, bare loud.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay.
Now I'm quiet.
Yo.
Oh
shit, that's loud. Oh, turn it down a little bit.
How about that?
Yeah, that's calm.
Yeah, sweet.
I think that's like the volume control for your mics,
Yeah.
your headsets even, and then yeah.
Okay.
Did you bring your laptop?
I didn't, but I took a photo of the
minor.
stress my son.
Shall I checking?
Shall I get
Trying our
out?
best to get a little start going, but Christ.
Okay, right. It's all good now. We're
good. We're rolling.
Shit,
We're
it's all
rolling.
good.
Okay.
We're rolling.
Sorted.
We did some topics last night.
Startup settings.
Podcast topics, right?
Yeah.
Shall we start with the first one? Is that the only that's the only decent one?
No,
isn't it?
yeah, that's the funny one, bro. We got a few, but they're
Put
like
that on there.
music. I don't know, some neat. I think we can. I think we can download our own audio off here too, which is sick.
Okay, sweet. So, I've got a subject for you boys, and that is the importance of brotherhood. Talk to me. The importance of it, bruv.
Well, firstly, obviously, guys, without saying that, without a doubt, the 5 people that spend the most time with, you are a product of that, whether people realise it or not. So ultimately, if you're living at home and that's your parents, you're going to become like your fucking parents. Or if you've got boys around you that are making progress, then it's the same situation. In my opinion, you should craft your close friends very meticulously because they will reflect onto you no matter what.
Yeah. You need strong males around you.
100%.
You need people that are going to work the same, because no one can be slacking. You've all got to be putting in the work, and that's how you fucking grow, innit?
Without doubt.
You want people that have got the same work ethic, if not a better work ethic.
Yeah, exactly. That.
It's definitely a male thing, though, innit? It's important to say. I mean, it's not like we're talking from experience because we're all fucking men, but like it's not like females listening to this are going to be able to. It's different, bruv. Because
females
we've got, like,
don't need that sort of the way we talk about self-improvement and masculinity and like all sort of coming up together, the competition that we all have. Females don't have that at all.
Well, females have it, but they don't realise it.
Females.
We spoke about this yesterday. Females.
Get your meals in.
Females do have competition. It does exist, but they don't acknowledge it.
And it's jealousy.
Friendships, and it's jealousy, bruv. Female
It's
friendships
mad.
are so different to male.
They turn jealousy to hate rather than useful, like.
Yeah, men can prioritise it and use it as competition and grow from it. A lot of females, obviously we can't
Chat
speak.
all of them.
Yeah, but females take it as jealousy.
The vast majority, I'd not to put a blanket on, but you know what I mean.
Not going to mention any names, but did I tell you about the voice message I got yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'm just going to mention it again because it's worth mentioning.
No, it is.
Had a voice message the other day from someone, and basically
Little special someone.
little special someone, and it was basically saying how I am cancelling weak men, which is exactly what I'm doing.
As it should be.
So cancelling effeminate men is apparently
Apparently it's a bad thing.
unacceptable.
Listen,
And that's the problem with our generation.
exactly, that is the problem right there.
Well, listen. I think you could boil it down to the fact that I don't know, bruv. It's like women don't actually want
They don't.
effeminate men. There is a polarity here that's fucking that exists. All right, if you're a woman who has masculine traits, you are going to attract a more feminine man. It just is the way it is. And in my opinion, the more successful relationships is a hyper masculine, hyper feminine relationship. If you're a hyper masculine man, you're achieving things. You've got your life in order. You've got that sense of security. What you don't have is that emotional sort of like soft tender side, which you get from a feminine woman. So why would you want a masculine traits as a man?
If you want to be masculine as well,
silly.
you can't be listening to your emotions. I'm not gonna lie, you've got to ignore them.
You have to ignore everything that goes through your head a lot of the time. The less emotional you are, typically, the happier you are, and the more you achieve. I'd agree.
Yeah, I agree.
The more you listen to yourself.
If you don't,
it's fucked.
You don't deep it. You just get on with it. You just get on with work, mate.
It's true.
It's very true, bro.
But then the same thing happens the other way around. If you're a woman with more masculine traits, then you're gonna crave some sort of like femininity from someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like, I don't know, what woman wants a feminine man? Like,
I don't know, because some women like just to be the dominant in the relationship.
Exactly. Do you want a guy that's going to be like not be able to protect you and provide for you? Like, what girl wants
Daddy
that?
issues, bruv.
That's
fucking
crazy.
Nah, but we don't actually see it a lot, but these people do fucking exist. I went to Boiler Room, what was it, the other month, standing in the queue outside in London, and this girl, bruv, comes up to me, and it's just like the most polar opposite to me you could possibly imagine. This girl is like small, not small, but like fucking just makes up. She could have been a tranny, is the way I'm going to put it. Like, you just look at her and you get that weird little feeling in your stomach. You're like, she looks a little off. And I was stood there with someone, and she starts like, making jokes about the gym and shit like that. And we sort of like coming back and forth, violating each other a little bit. And she's like, oh yeah, I like femboys. Do you know what femboys are?
Yeah.
Bruv, the extreme scale of feminine men, like these fucking TikTok boys, like, mate.
Get a grip.
Like almost like just virgin in the limbo of fucking sexuality.
Yeah.
Fuck knows what's going on there.
It's mad to think that sort of contrasting mindsets, how different we are to them. Like,
yeah, valid.
Some girls got to see going to the gym as a joke. I've had it before. Like someone at work was like, oh, like he posts gym on his story, watch out. Like some girls see it as like just because they want something feminine. Like,
yeah.
Well, then again, everything's different. But mate,
everyone has their preferences, obviously.
I just think later on you're gonna clock at some point, innit? You're gonna be like, oh, you made a mistake. You fell for the trap.
The world we live in now, like, everyone's going for everyone.
Yeah.
There's always sides to everything, and there's so much diversity that if you're not on one side, then you're hated. Like, they're gonna come for you, no matter what you do.
It's true.
That's why you can never please everyone. Everyone's different.
You should never try to please everything. That shouldn't be a goal for anything to do.
You're not gonna be able to do it,
mate. You're not gonna have people that you say something that's outlandish. Yeah. Goes without saying, but what Andrew Tate's doing, he's fucking done it right. He's sorry.
He's done it right.
You don't understand the team of people that he's got behind him, bro.
Yeah.
He's saying shit which a lot of people are going to agree with passionately. He saw the opportunity with young men, and he started saying stuff that a lot of people disagree with, right? Yeah. But that is how you get loyal followers that are praying for you to succeed, bro.
Yeah.
He has people around the world praying for his success right now. He's in hospital. Yeah. Obviously, hopefully everything's okay, but...
Yeah, Christ. Mate, that's a techie situation, isn't it? That is... his 3-step plan is coming to light, and society is seeing it, and it's going to cause uproar. If something bad happens, it will cause uproar.
I think it's interesting to boil it down from like an actual business perspective, from before he blew up, what he actually wanted to do, what he actually did. Like, he made his money from whatever it was. It was essentially porn. It was essentially like
webcam, wasn't it?
Webcam girls. Yeah. So he was getting girls, employing them on the thing, and said, listen, you're going to make way more money with me than you ever would on your own. So you're beautiful. You might as well come along. Made his first millions from that. And then I think people mistake that for being like the majority of his income, or like defining by that. When in reality, when you bought, bruv, I remember he used to have like body language courses. He used to have stuff like how to talk to girls.
Wait, courses is in what people could buy? And
on the internet, yeah.
Body language courses.
Yeah. I remember, like, mate, like 6 months ago, a year ago, I was watching on the train once. I didn't watch the whole fucking thing, but someone leaked it on YouTube. Yeah. But it was like him, talking about like how he was getting girls on like Instagram, like DM and shit like that, and like his techniques. Yeah. So he was selling, and brother, we know how much effort it is to think on a day, okay, I'm going to sit down and record a course. Like, it's not easy. No. He had a fucking mindset, and he worked for it. Yeah. And people want to take that away from him, and he's an entertaining guy. I just think he's done things right. I don't want to take this on a little take detour, but
that podcast with Milk Boys, and he was talking about how he started it all and how he had like money problems and he had to make something like 70k to pay off.
It's literally like a life or death situation. Like
Yeah.
And then he found he was like, what are my assets? And because he travelled around like the world doing kickboxing, he had these girls in like around Europe, and he basically flew them out, like 5 of them, to this restaurant, and him and his brother sat down with him and was just like, right, this is what we're going to do, we're going to make millions. Apparently like 3 of them left, 2 of them stayed.
And that's how you know.
And then from that, the 2 of them got little laptops, webcams, keyboards, and the girls started off by writing on the keyboards to the guys, but they didn't know what to say because they didn't know how to the proper game. So Andrew Tate used to plug in the keyboard and he would type.
I've seen that too.
That's crazy.
I've seen that too. Yeah, I'd argue that, mate. I won't argue. I know that a lot of the best businesses, money making, comes from desperation.
Yeah.
There comes a point where you're like, fuck this. It's like a fuck this event. You're like, fuck this. I'm done. I'm finished doing this. You get to a point where you realise your life's going fucking nowhere, and you're like, do you remember? It was about a year ago. Me and you were coming up to Brum visiting, so like we knew of each other. But me and him, bruv, I remember sitting in the fucking Maltings of your room, bruv, getting a piece of paper, and we were like, we're doing this now. And we wrote a business plan for DJ and Resonate, and we wrote a business plan for Gym, self-improvement.
It's mad
Inspire.
because them same notes, when you sent it on the group chat the other day, they're similar to what we're creating now.
They are pretty much what we're creating now, which is unfucking believable. We're sat in a podcast studio right now.
When you deep it, that's crazy.
It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. But you know what's mad is that like on a day-to-day basis, you don't see it. You just keep doing it. You keep making progress. This is almost just like insights to anyone else who's starting their own business. It's not fucking easy. If we didn't have each other and we were on our ones doing this shit,
the motivation would be so low.
I don't think
trust me,
that happens.
social media fucks it, bro. Because, bro, you know what? I don't know about you. I still get mad anxiety. I'm not an anxious person at all. I'm not fucking depressed. I never get this shit.
Yeah.
But I don't like posting to social media that much unless it's off core, like something personal.
What do you think that is? Because there's so many people that can just see it and you don't know what they're saying about it.
True say. But I've changed so much as a person over the last fucking 21 years, and everyone that's on there's just like a little bank of people that I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of fucking.
Mate, when I got that hate comment about punching, that little feeling inside straight away.
I'm fire inside, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like.
It's really hard to ignore as well. Like that's another example, like, bro. If we didn't have us, if we weren't all doing our own things, like trying,
that could get to your head.
That could put us down if we didn't have each other. I think.
Yeah, that could get you down and put you off the course.
At the end of the day, how are you gonna fault someone for trying something?
Exactly.
How are you gonna fight? Like, what kind of person you have to be to fault someone? It's another one.
Loser, mate.
And you can see the type of person that person would be, like just keyboard warrior, sitting at their screen all day.
Keyboard warriors are out here, mate.
It's very true, bro.
They're out here to take us out.
People don't like to hear things which are too abrasive, which hurt them to hear. Do you understand? Hurts their ego a little bit. We have egos in the West, bro.
Yeah,
people don't like to hear shit or think that shit they're doing something that I'm not. Maybe I should get on it a little bit.
A lot of jealousy.
There's a lot of jealousy, but
you ain't us.
What can you say?
You are not us.
You ain't us. You ain't us yet.
Can't be us.
You ain't putting in the work. So have a butch these topics then.
Okay. These topics will give us a little bit of direction, I feel. Yeah. Otherwise we will go off talking about whatever.
Oh mate.
But this studio's nice, bruv. It is a nice little setup.
It's a good setup.
I can't believe we're doing this. It's mad.
Unbelievable, man.
Right. We sort of covered masculinity. What else we got here? Could talk about starting these little businesses. Talk about September.
Oh yeah, shit. So, let's actually give a rundown. I mean, we're 30 minutes in, but my name's Anton.
My name is Kian.
And my name is Tyler.
Yeah. 3
alphas.
I'm a student.
Yep.
We live together. We run our own self-employed sort of business type entities.
Yep.
I'm over here with a little branding creative studio called September. I'd say I'm self-employed. I create 3D art and upload educational content on social media.
I upload Inspire videos. I've got a self-improvement channel, Masculinity, all of that. So
well,
if you're looking to
what this is on essentially. This is Inspire, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Inspire is a product of all of us, but got the main man here.
You'll see this on the Inspire channel, but it is like I say, mainly about masculinity and bettering yourself to become a high status male, because that is what the end goal is, really, isn't it?
And there are a lot of people still stuck in the trap.
Yeah, so many people.
That's what we want to do.
Other people out.
We've got TY.
I'm just reigniting our DJing company, DJ Underground Collective, called Resonate.
For the old heads are listening, you'll remember fucking Resonate, our first little fucking business venture.
It is back. First mix dropping today.
Resonate is back.
Consistency is coming through.
So we're working on our own shit.
I feel like that's good that we've got our own shit. Let's just talk about that. We've all sort of got our own shit to be working on, as well as we were talking about this the other day. So obviously Anton's got September, Inspire, Resonate, but we all sort of, in the background, it all comes together as all three of us in each thing.
We help each other out.
We do.
Own independent companies, like we all help each other out.
Yeah.
What's important to note, I think, as we say we're self-employed, but I say we're going down the entrepreneurial route without a doubt.
Definitely.
When anyone asks me what I want to do in the future, it's like, just don't talk to me about it. I'm going down the entrepreneurial route. As soon as I leave uni, as soon as I graduate, I'm going full steam ahead.
Yeah.
I'm dedicating my fucking life to this shit because I'm obsessed with the idea that I can make money online with as minimal effort as possible. Yep. And you man agree with that?
100%.
The end goal is time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. That's what you want.
Yeah. But we were speaking about this. It's starting something like this, whether it's a passion project or something which is more like directional. It's ultimately all about learning skills. We're learning skills doing this shit. Did I know how to operate a podcast thing? Silly example, but I'm obviously pretty decent, I say, at graphic design and a lot of stuff. Anything to do with tech, web development, a load of stuff. I can really like set up businesses and make them look professional. I'm good at creating like good production value content. So when it comes to your kind of stuff, my kind of stuff, him, you know, we work in. So I can work in there. And then obviously fucking give each other advice all the time.
Starting this sort of these businesses as well, it's coming out your comfort zone massively as well. I feel, because like you say, learning new skills, editing, all of that, it's coming out your comfort zone, and it's doing something to. I feel like before, when we first moved up here, because these businesses weren't a thing. They were a thing, but we didn't know we was going to go into them.
Definitely.
And I feel like when we came up here, we were focused on gym and that. And we thought in the day we had a lot of time where we were just sort of sitting on the sofa, like chilling,
wasting time, but thinking about what we can be doing.
Yeah, we were chilling.
We were always thinking.
One way of putting it, we were chilling.
And we were chilling.
We were always saying we were gonna do these things, but we weren't actually doing them.
Yeah, you sort of procrastinate, don't you? You sort of keep it in the limbo, keep it in dream world.
I feel like it's the idea. Having the idea is quite difficult when you don't know what you want to do, and you got to think of an idea. You're sitting there, you're like, what will make me money? What will work? And it's hard to actually think of that idea, but once you get that idea, you're laughing.
It's true. I'd say the idea is probably one of the first steps, but what I also think is really important is just generally dopamine detoxing, I think, is a pillar of all of this.
That is
what I mean by that is because people don't give it enough credit. Very rarely, unless you've got a lifestyle which serves you, do you sit around with nothing to do and think, you know what, I'm going to read a book.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a walk to get my morning sunlight. I'm going to do any of the stuff. You just don't think it. You'd rather go on Instagram, go on your phone,
scrolling,
because you're fucking bot-minded at that point.
Yeah.
You're doing the same shit. You're entertained all the time.
Yeah.
When you will reel yourself away from that, even as simple as boil it down to like sugar, all this shit, which is like instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know enough about that, mate. You ultimately start searching for that by other means, and you do get dopamine hits from little wins, which is super important.
That brings me on to that book that I'm reading, The Atomic Habits.
Yeah, great fucking book, man.
Unbelievable book. So these habits that you have every day, sort of the little ones, when you've done it, so say you meditate first thing in the morning, that feels like a little win. And those little wins, they explained it in the book as like what's it called? The atoms that come together. What's it called?
Atoms that come together.
Like the whole thing.
Ion.
Oh nah. Do you mean like electrons, neutrons, and stuff? To
basically,
an atom?
What it says is each habit is like an atom,
like
and the atoms come. Wasn't the best at science. You're good.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyway, each atom is like a habit, and it builds up together. And once they build up, like atoms are everywhere. Headphones falling off. Atoms are everything, and they build up, and they come into this sort of big win. So all these little wins add up into a big win, but you can't take that for granted. You can't take that big win and think, yeah, I'm done. You have to keep going. That's the key with it. You've got to stay consistent with these little wins, and that is what will improve you.
This is true. Yeah, I feel like you can't even give those wins too much credit. Like, they're good and they give you good mental balance, but someone said to me that you should almost treat every win as a loss in a way. How could you perform better? How could you do better? Because if you don't, then what happens is you sort of put your brain in a state where you're like, oh, it's cool, I'm calm, keep doing this, and you're limiting yourself by that point.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
If you don't change your identity as well, as in like, so say you clean your room, right, done, but you haven't changed as a person. What I mean by this is, you've done the cleaning, you had the motivation to do it, and then the next day you're gonna get stuff out again, and it's going to get messy in about 2 days, and you have to get the motivation again to do it. You need to change as a person, so that when you've cleaned your room, you keep it clean.
It's absolutely true.
Wow.
Again, it's habits, isn't it? It's a maintenance of doing the same thing, doing the right thing over and over again, and eventually you sort of get to a point where it works.
Soon it will start to pay off, but you got to stay consistent. Consistency is key.
Absolutely.
I'm going to rearrange my mic one more time. Give me a sec.
One more time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna celebrate. All right, that's
All
better.
right.
Yeah, it's quite hard to like constantly talk into this thing. You know?
It's hot in
You
here,
see it
isn't
on
it?
podcasts, and it's like, bring the fucking mic up. I can't hear that.
I feel like Joe Rogan right now. This is good, isn't it?
Mate, I found better. The reason I've moved this down is so I can actually sit back a little bit. It's easier for me to sit up, but
I don't want to risk it because
it's calm. It's calm.
I was going to say, do you see the protest in Romania?
Oh, that was
No.
mental.
You didn't see that?
Andrew Tate protest.
Yeah,
There's
they
an
got the
Andrew Tate
song.
protest.
Mate,
Swear
outside,
to
outside
God.
this gaff, literally going Tate.
Yeah, crazy.
There's like police everywhere, like
Crazy.
Like,
They must have known that was going to happen. Whatever people say, whether that was a legitimate arrest,
Nah.
or whether one girl just cried wolf, who knows if she was like, no, not bruv. You know, apparently, oh mate, I saw this on a Vice documentary, so it very well could have been twisted, but like 1 in 100 rape, like accusations are actually charged. Apparently it's one of the most difficult crimes to actually prove.
you can never actually tell, unless there's obviously like liquid proof, like you can never actually tell if there's...
So that's why
it's such a... Oh, that's crazy.
automatically gets taken so seriously.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And
it's messed up that the police can bribe... they can get these girls and pay them 50 grand just to say this geezer done this.
And then they can instantly...
And that's enough evidence.
Just for saying it, they will look at the case, they'll put someone into custody, like...
Yeah, and then just... You're in jail before you know it. Scary world we live in, man.
yeah,
Scary world.
it's interesting to discuss, but I think it's important to know it's a separation between that and real life.
Yep.
There's a separation between what is actually immediately relevant to you and where your life's going, and what you're told by the media and what you see online. Do you remember when we first started watching Hamza?
Yep.
And pretty much straight away, you were like, well, I had a voice in my head which was like, it's terrible. You shouldn't just listen to one person saying everything. Yep. I was like, you may be right and you may agree, but you can't just listen to one thing, because...
Take it with a pinch of salt, innit?
Ultimately, like, we know what it's like to record a video and edit it. You're showing the world what you want to show the world. It's the same with Insta, the same with social media. And that on a much bigger scale is media in general, like news and stuff like that.
Yep.
So what you're really seeing is what people want you to see. Right,
yeah, that's true.
Right. So you're seeing things through lenses. Our opinions on Andrew Tate, whether you've read the positive media, whether or you've had an impact on your life from. I want to stop saying Andrew Tate. Just like creators or media in general, and whether you looked at the positive, no negative sides of that, it's ultimately someone else's view. Do you remember in school in the West we were brought up to have our own opinions?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like I can't like just distinctly remember what teachers used to say, but they really used to push that narrative that like
it was something along the lines of like
you should have your own
be
opinion.
like someone else. Like,
Yeah.
You should try and be your own
or
person.
let people talk. Isn't it funny that we live in a society where it's like other opinions are so pushed on us? Like if you're watching this, have a little think. I tell you what, sit down, and for a few minutes, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth completely. Just sit down, meditate for a little bit. All right.
Have a little think.
Go outside, get some fresh air, breathe in and breathe out, and bring yourself back to who you actually are. If you're doing it right, you'll get a little sensation like the world is sort of happening around you. And you'll pretty quickly realise that you aren't actually a product of these fucking thoughts and emotions that are pushed on you.
No.
I mentioned to him, I downloaded Instagram for the first time 10 days ago, pretty much, about a week ago, to post on Insta. Did that, and then obviously didn't delete it. every now and then comes
Scroll.
up. See the
Out of
little,
nowhere.
see the pink icon. It looks nice to press, so you click it. Scrolling through, and I've still got loads of like DJ stuff recommended and like festivals and music.
Yeah.
And within a week, I'm sat thinking, oh, I'm going up to uni soon. I wouldn't mind a night out.
Yeah, it's mad how what it does
like,
to you, isn't it? It's mad how it just changes thoughts in your brain. You sort of look at something, you're like, oh,
but you think
mind it. Yeah.
The worst bit is you think they're your own. You
But
think they're your own, and they're
media
not your
put
own.
'em in
They're
your-
not your own.
That is mental.
So all of this stuff is ultimately self-hypnosis. Like, you pick what you want to see. You need to be so meticulous with it, man. You need to be so meticulous.
Yeah. That's why you should watch Inspire.
That's why you should watch Inspire, because that is good fucking content, mate.
That is what's going to better you.
Watch
You need to
content
watch
that's
stuff
going to better your life. Ask
Exactly
yourself if what you're watching is better.
Education, learn.
I think it's important to have like an idea in your head of who you want to be when you're older. I've got
Very important.
very descriptive goals of what I want to achieve.
We've all got goals written down of what we want to achieve.
Yeah. We write them down. We make sure we know what we're going to be, who we're going to be. And you've got to ask yourself in daily life, especially when you come up with opportunities, would the best version of myself do that? Just ask yourself that every day, and you'll lead onto the right path.
Important part of self-improvement, brother. You can apply that to any decision that you're making at the time. You can be like, would I do that? No. So
why am I doing it?
That's why I went for a while. I was not strongly against, but like the idea of going pirate, I was like, scatty.
Would future me do that?
I was like, would future me go to pirate? No.
In about an hour.
It's good for practicing with the equipment and shit. Obviously, we've got the events thing going. It's amazing for that. But for just like fun.
See, that's what we do now. A lot of this stuff isn't just fun. It's genuinely got a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, we're going pirate studios after this, and we're going to be DJing, because it's part of the business. It's like investment in time.
Everything has its
place,
its purpose.
It has its purpose, doesn't it?
True. It is investment. It absolutely is.
Just like that.
But you got to make the right decisions, brother. And it's not one dimensional. it's not just going to pirate and DJ, and it's not making sure you're good on the decks. If you don't want to become one of them DJs who's just getting booked out by shitty events at Sugi Tensi,
waste of time.
Then you wanna do it right. You wanna market yourself. And
marketing is
luckily,
quite important.
got the right people around you to do that, bro. So you're sweet.
Yeah. Marketing is quite important as well.
Yeah, your audience, who you're like reaching.
Marketing is very important.
If you're starting a business, you got first thing you got to know who your audience is. That is a fact, because you got to know who you're talking to. You got to know who you're selling to. And
yeah, you absolutely do. This isn't something that I've like completely boxed off and accomplished, and I've got a formula that works yet. But we're all in the process of creating some sort of product to sell in its most basic form. Ideally, that's something digital. I reckon I 100%. May have to go down the route of selling services at some point, which I don't mind because I love what I do.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it all boils down to who is your ideal customer, where are they, find exactly where they are, and how you can create a valuable message to display to them.
Yeah.
Summary, but
what would you say September's audience is?
Honestly, in its most simple form, probably my younger self. So people that are interested in it, in 3D design, art in general, whether that's going into like the crypto space, NFTs, or whether that's potentially going down, I don't know, you can go into like the gaming route and stuff, but I tend to make more like almost like reality based, just cool looking stuff. I still struggle to actually summarize what I do, but if you're interested, at September DSGN on Insta, get on it. Post some stuff that I got a YouTube channel too, but
I feel like Inspire and Resonate's audience is similar. It's young males, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But they're different, as in Resonate will have the lads that like to go out, they like to drink, they like to party, all that. Inspire's got the young millionaires watching.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, what's great about Inspire is that, like I said, it's quite abrasive. So what's going to end up happening is you're not going to get any 40-year-old blokes, people that are older watching it, because essentially the message is, you should really do your life this way. This is a better blueprint to achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah.
We've been surrounded by this sort of self-improvement content for about a year now. And we would want to watch this type of content. So why not make it? Why not follow the journey?
Mm-hmm. It's the sort of stuff that we can relate to. So that's what ultimately we want to make, is relatable content.
That's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Take a little look at your life. And if you're not achieving what you want to achieve, then
sit down and think where you want to go and who you want to be.
Yeah, or navigate yourself to a path, following some people who may sort of have their heads in order, and see.
Stop being stupid and sitting on your phone.
Not to say that's us, but if you do vibe with us and you think things will work out, then fucking give it a shot, mate.
It is us, trust me.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I've been swearing a lot. I don't know if I'm going to have to bleep out. I got a little bleep on here, do I?
I am.
I thought I had another little sound bank. Wait, hold on.
We're just going to try them out.
Like this one.
Oh,
that's just
that's like recording, isn't it?
Salam alaikum.
Where did that come from?
Well, it actually says sound 2 on here, but it turns out that it's
yeah.
Salam alaikum. Someone's recorded that into it.
That is a mad voice.
I only got slides of music.
That is good. It's like a news channel.
Hold on. That's not turning off.
I thought you pressed it. Yo guys, welcome back to the news. Today we got.
And on to the next section.
That is funny.
That is incredible. I think that's what's up.
Next.
Oh, we.
Right, whoa.
All right, we're gonna.
That's enough of the sounds. We're gonna move on from the sounds. Let me sort them out.
This is genuinely great, mate. I actually really enjoy this.
This is fun. I wanted to talk about the difference between. Do you reckon we're talking about too much sort of self-improvement stuff? Should we make it more humorous or?
I mean, no. I don't think we need to concentrate on making it humorous. Just authenticity, man. You know how it is. Authentically, our lives revolve around self-improvement. So, what are we most qualified to talk about?
Yeah,
likely self-improvement.
Okay, got a subject then. The difference between goals and systems. Do you know?
Between goals and systems?
Yep.
Nah.
Okay, so obviously there's goals which you have in your life, and that might be to make money online, let's say that. But the system is what you do every day to work towards that. So it's like the process.
Yeah.
So the goal's obviously at the end, and the system is what leads up to it. And if
so
your
system, like a plan.
Yeah, if your system is not correct with the right stuff, such as habits, if your system ain't correct, then there's no way you're going to get to that goal. Yeah,
that's true. I remember this from before. Whenever I had a goal, it was very wishy-washy. Yeah. It was like, I really want to do this. If all else fails, I'll do this and this.
I took a photo from the book.
And then you suddenly realise that you actually need to implement some sort of steps to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah. Okay. 2 seconds. Where is this? Keep it.
Shall I put the audio in?
Yeah, go on. Okay. Okay. So I took a photo of this page from the book. I'm just going to read it. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do, right? So each habit not only gets results, but also teaches you something far more important: to trust yourself. You start to believe you can actually accomplish these things. When the votes mount up and the evidence begins to change, the story you tell yourself begins to change as well. Of course, it works the opposite way too. So that means, like, if you're doing bad habits, you're going to go down that route. Yep. Every time you choose to perform a bad habit, it's a vote for that identity. The good news is that, and then, I didn't take any more photos.
No, that's absolutely right, though. It's something about little wins, right? You start going through and you start realising that, hold on.
Get your system right.
It's true, Rob. You look at life and you realise that, I mean, really what you're doing is you're like, you're learning what you do that gets the good results and what you do that gets the bad results. And in its most boiled down form, you're figuring out to do the good stuff more often and the bad stuff less often, and then you become successful.
System relates to routine as well.
But this
that's literally it.
This is the blueprint. This is how you do it. Something I was thinking about yesterday. I'm just gonna say it, but like you know that feeling that you get when you really don't want to do something. Not that you really don't want to do something, but you have days where you wake up and you spring out of bed and you're like, cool, I'm going to go for a run this morning, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go get my mornings. Everything's sort of, there's so little friction. You go through and you create what you want to create, and then by the end of the day, you're like, I had a good day today. And then typically you'll have days where you don't feel like that, whether you got a little less sleep or you wake up and you're like, oh God, and you're really pushing yourself through that day.
Especially when you're doing it consistently.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. And the good days are great because you've got the momentum there already. What I was going to say is that feeling when you don't want to do something and you do, or I'm getting this now because I'm writing my dissertation, but the thought of like actually having to sit down and do that and you're like, oh, God, I'm going to do it tomorrow. The opposite of procrastination is essentially what I'm saying. That emotion, that feeling, if you can navigate where that is and just feel that and in your head notice that going on, that is the path to success. Fighting that and becoming more resilient to that particular feeling, you will achieve things. You will do stuff. You will push stuff out. Navigate that consistently, and you will achieve. Is my point.
If you notice it, said it.
That's something that I've realised. I've learned.
The days you don't necessarily want to do things, the day you need to do it the most. That's when like most growth happens.
Exactly, like
you really push yourself to do it rather than when it's part of your routine.
That's why, as a masculine male, you need to sort of ignore these emotions and get on with it.
It goes back to what you were saying.
It's true.
Exactly that, mate.